Question 14 reads, in the xy plane, the graph of the equation y equals 9x minus 8 intersects the graph of the equation y equals x squared at 2 points. What is the sum of the x coordinates of the 2 points? Well, if we had a graph to supplement this question, it becomes fairly easy to answer it. We just have to identify the points and add up the x coordinates, but we don't. And when we don't have a graph and we want to find the intersection points of two equations, we have to equate them to each other. So if I write y equals 9x minus 8 and y equals x squared, well, both of them are equal to y, and so I can equate them to each other. X squared equals 9x minus 8. Okay, and this is actually going to be a quadratic. If I subtract 9x and add 8 to both sides, then I'm left with x squared minus 9x plus 8 equals 0. And this is a quadratic. It's a quadratic in the general form. And the general form looks something like this. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, right? This is the general form of a quadratic. Okay, and so now we have two ways of solving this question. A slightly longer way, which would be to just how you usually would do it, how you usually would find the solutions of a quadratic, where you just factorize this, right? And then equate each factor to 0. But there's an even faster way in which uses a formula, and that formula is minus b over a. And I bet you've heard of it, but this formula, it gives you the sum of the solutions. Okay? And so what it means is I take the negative value of the the coefficient of x, and divide that by the coefficient of x squared, and that will give me the sum of the solutions. And the solutions are obviously the x coordinates, mind you. And so that is the formula we're going to use. There is another formula. This is additional information now. There's an additional there's a other formula, which is c over a, which people often get these two confused with each other. But this gives you the product of the solutions. Okay, so when you multiply both solutions, that is what c over a is. Okay, but that we don't really need this right now. We don't need it at all. So we can focus on minus b over a. And that's gonna be, well, our b is minus 9, right? And our a is gonna be 1 actually, because there's an imaginary 1 right here. So our minus b over a is gonna be minus into minus 9 over 1. Minus into minus 9 is gonna just be 9, right? 9 over 1 is just 9. And so the sum of the solutions, right, the sum of the x coordinates is gonna be 9. And that's going to be D.